What makes an instrument a classic? Is it its sound? Is it its look? Is it its touch? Is it its interface, ease of use? Obviously, the Juno 60 and the 106 are classics, and today we have the Juno-X, and we're going to look at the question, does it do them justice? Stay with us. Hi, I'm Zach Marr from Alamo Music here in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications. This is our Alamo Sound Lab channel where we talk about all things music tech related. And today we're looking at the Roland Juno-X, which has already caused quite the stir online from people saying they're super excited to get their hands on one and play it, to others saying this is simply a cash grab from Roland, another shameless attempt to live on their legacy. So which is it? Hopefully today we will give you some information so you can make that decision. Personally, I think it all comes down to what is a musical instrument. That's kind of an abstract question, but what exactly do we mean when we say we're looking for an instrument? Like, what are we looking for? Are we looking for a specific... I think sometimes in the world of synthesizers, people get really, really specific about kind of a fundamental core tone that is present or not present. And I do think that is a very, very valid perspective, especially when you're talking about classic synths like the Juno 60 and the Juno 106. There's this obsession with their vintage tone, right? But I think those instruments are more than just their tone. They have a wonderful, wonderful sound, and there's just their makeup and it's hard to even describe, but when you've played one and you've listened to one, you know that there's something magical in whatever's going on inside to produce that sound. At the same time, there's more, in my opinion, to what makes them magical. And I think the guitar world's a little, less, maybe not. Maybe it's just as catty. But the guitar world, you think sometimes people really, it all's down to the finish. You know, the inspiration of the color, the look. It's almost a fashion statement. What guitar, electric guitars aren't that different from one another. They are, but a Strat's a Strat a lot of times, and often what differentiates it are kind of subtle, the feel, the touch, and the look. And I think there's something about the Juno look, the Juno feel, the layout, the interface that's so easy and intuitive and simple. It's just an incredibly well-designed instrument on top of having a wonderful fundamental sound, and that's part of what made it so magical and timeless. So we're looking at the Juno-X, and I think it's really cool if you look at the history of the Juno series. There's this analog history that we've covered in other videos, starting with the Juno 6, the 60, the 106, the Alpha Junos, and then you had this kind of gap, and then Roland began to release digital Junos, but they weren't really part of that lineage. The definition, the Juno G, I think, and the Juno D were the first two, but the idea there was that they were affordable digital synths, workstation type romplers from Roland, in line with the affordability of the original Junos, the DCO kind of cheaper technology that wasn't a Jupiter 8, and that was the kind of idea and the lineage and why the Juno name was used. This, I think, is the first time that Roland is taking the Juno name out again and really reconnecting it to its original kind of 66, 106 heritage, which I think is really fun. And it looks just freaking amazing. I think a lot of people online are like, God, that just looks really nice. And it feels nice, and it's really interesting. They even there's little things that are, I think, subtle nods to the Juno lineage that are present here beyond the extra capabilities that it has. But for instance, it has built-in speakers, which were a design thing that Roland wanted to do in a lot of their synths, but it wasn't feasible early on with the analog synths in most cases. There's the HS60, I think, and the Juno 106S, which has built-in speakers, and this also has built-in speakers, and they're about as functional as they are in those units. They kind of crackle if you get the volume up too much. So kind of a fun just nod to its legacy. Another fun nod is it has the Hoover. It has a Hoover patch in here, which is really something that was a sound that became popular from the Alpha Juno. It wasn't from the 106 and the 60. And the Juno-X, which is a new kind of instrument model that is, I think, taking from some of the Alpha Juno heritage, as well as the Super Saw that you saw on, we did a video on it, but one of the the JP 8000. So you had the Super Saw from Roland, which was really big in a lot of genres of dance music. But you get the Super Saw back in the Juno-X, and then you get the Hoover patch and the Juno-X kind of patches. So you get kind of subtle nods to the full legacy, the full analog legacy of the Juno. And I think for that reason, it's a lot of fun. In addition, I think you just get the interface that the Juno interface is just, it's a very great interface to learn subtractive synthesis, and I think it works as well as it ever has, and really you get that experience on the Juno-X. So I haven't had a ton of time to play with it. In fact, I think we unboxed it and just filmed it to show you that literally we got it out of the box and I played through it, found some patches that I like, and am going to share that with you. But this is my initial impression. Yes, it is not, doesn't sound exactly like a Juno 60 or a 106. But what it does do is it expands on the analog legacy, the Juno legacy. It's Zen core based. And it really, I think the latest boutique, the JX08, that's based on the JX8P, really, to me, was a beautiful tribute and recreation of the JX8P. I believe this is the same beautiful recreation and tribute of the 106 and the 60, and taking it further with the Juno-X engine, you get a lot of nice things in here, and it gives you the character and feel of the 60 and the 106. It's not exact, it's not analog, but it doesn't need to be, and I think that depending on what tools you're using, it really doesn't matter that much. It really sounds nice. The chorus effects that they're using, I've noticed in the X8P, and the chorus that they have in this is really noisy. It's they have something, they have it, they can hear it moving in the headphones when you're listening, and I think that is a nice nod. They're doing a good job of, this isn't the ACB modeling, but they're doing a good job of modeling the things that I think represent the sound and using a musical ear to reinterpret it rather than just trying to go for point-to-point kind of pedantic recreation. So I really applaud Roland for the form factor. I like how meaty the instrument feels. I know that's, again, kind of a perceptive thing, but it affects your experience of the instrument. If it felt super lightweight, it'd feel cheap. It's not super lightweight, it's well built. The action is really nice. It just feels good. In addition to that, it's got a bunch of extra effects of the intelligent arpeggiator and just additional features that expand the Juno sound. I think it's less overwhelming than the Jupiter X that they re-released, or that their version of taking the Jupiter 8 into the modern era. I think it's actually a little easier to kind of conceptualize and use, and I think it might be a better synth for a lot of people that are looking for their first kind of big polysynth. Really think this is a good option. It also has the XV5080, a vocoder, and some of their just other sound banks. I think you can also download other sound banks into it, but like you can on the Jupiter X. But I really think this is a great instrument. I already think it's a lot of fun. We're gonna do comparisons with the 60 and the 106 later, but I'm gonna do a quick playthrough so you can hear the sound, try and give you a feel for it, and we'll conclude with some final thoughts. So there you have it, the Juno-X. Really, kudos to Roland on this one. They're not giving people the analog recreation that people say again and again, well, just give us what we want, give us what we want. But I think this is definitely true to their mission of never going backwards, taking things forward, but also giving people something that is very, very usable and really continues on the Juno legacy, and not the Juno DS kind of way or the Juno G workstation rompler. Really a reimagination, a digital reimagination of their classic synths. Also cool features, it has balanced XLR outs, stereo, which is a nice feature, a mic in, and it's just it seems there's a lot here, a lot under the hood. We'll probably make another video going deeper into it, but definitely I think a cool piece from Roland, and I think unarguably it's super beautiful. It comes around $2,000, so you could buy a vintage Juno 106 for that price range if you're looking hard, but you're going to be dealing with replacing the chips, being a little temperamental, and this does a great job, and I think it's a strong contender for being a better toolkit for a lot of people. Again, would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below. Is there anything I missed? Is there other cool features that weren't discussed? Would love to talk more below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please hit subscribe. Would love to see you here again. And if you want to contact us, you can find us at alamomusic.com. Send us an email at yourfriends@alamomusic.com or chat with us on the website. Would love to hear from you and talk more. And I hope, regardless of whatever you do or whatever sense you use, that you continue making music, because really no instrument is going to take you further than the one that's right in front of you and that you're exploring currently. So make music, hope you're having fun, and until next time.